welcome back everybody to Tony's Top Tips Workshop. Video today is I've had some questions put to me from I've answered them from the last video I put on about the vac pods and how to use them and what I use them for. And I had one question posed to me is, why would you want to, because I said in the video that you could vacuum a bed, a scrap piece or a waste piece to the vac pod, and then you can glue with a hot glue or a double-sided tape to the face of that, and then you can do your engraving or your cutting, and if you want to go through you can go through into your spoil board, which is actually vacuumed to the vac pod. And he said, what's the point? He said, you might as well glue it to your bed of your machine. Yeah, you can do that, but hence you'll damage the bed of your machine. So if you put a false one on, then when you put a false one on, you're going to clamp that down. The whole idea of vac pods, and I'll just make it clear, is I use them on the Pro machine. I use them quite a bit. And sometimes I'll hold the panel down with 4 of them, depending what size I'm using. Or if I'm doing a metal disc, I use the vac pod. That's if it's within the scope of the vac pod. I must reiterate that. But you can, the whole idea is you've no clamps to worry about. I have, and I'll openly admit it, I've done it on the Pro machine and I've done it on this machine. Forgot and caught a clamp. They're not the low profile things, they're the clamps on these things. So yes, you could stick it to your bed, and if you wanted to cut through, this is, I explained to the gentleman, it's your own preference. I 3D printed these to show that you could 3D print something like this that would hold a vacuum, and there's a lot of stresses in vacuum when you're creating them in something that's 3D printed. And also it just gives you a clean actual working environment. I like them. So the video today really is, I'm going to cut some round discs out in 3mm plywood, and I'm going to cut that, and then I'm just going to engrave a simple thing that I've done in Aspire on the PC, and I'll show you it working. Offline controller. I don't use connection. I tried it 2 weeks ago, the connection between the PC, and this is a good PC, it's a standalone one, don't run anything else but here, that's what it runs. I have another one over there which is for the other CNC machine, but this solely runs this here on the 3D printers. And I had a problem. I was doing some cutouts for something upstairs that I'm doing, and when I was using the machine it dropped out. Don't know why, I have no idea. It dropped out, and it was only like 25-minute engrave that I was doing, cutting, but 5 minutes from the end it dropped out. Kaboom. I would have had to run the whole thing again. Well, I didn't, because I wasn't that bothered about it, but it just goes to show, if you're in there, the offline controller, I have never had it drop out. It's, you put the program in from the chip and it runs, and you can't ask further than that. That I've noticed quite a number of, get it out, quite a number of people now I've noticed from me doing the review on this, I've actually purchased this, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. It just aids so much, it makes you operating this machine so easy, especially with using the offline controller. So yeah, it's proved worthwhile doing that video. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some discs out on the LC40 and then once I've cut those out, I'll show you how I proceed in putting them on the back pod and then engraving. Right, here we are at the machine. LC40. It's just a simple and light burn. It's just simple circle. That's all I'm cutting out. 70mm diameter. Let's get started. Got to admit, I love this laser engraver for the price, and I believe you can get it really cheap now. So yeah, it's only 10 watt, but it's good at what it does. This is 170mm a minute, and it's running at 100% power. There we are, that's that one done. Here we are, I'm going to cut the circle. I'm just holding the extractor fan here at the moment. As I said, it's just a scrap piece of plywood that I don't waste anything in case I want to do any test cuts. And you can tell with laser cutter when it cuts a circle or anything square, it should join up. There should be no offset step, and if you look at that, there is no offset step. So, okay, right, here we are at the machine. The discs I've cut out. I always, when I'm using a disc, I'll get the centre of the disc, because I always work from the centre, obviously. So I use the yellow centre finder. You push it down into the bottom, draw a line, turn it round, draw another line, and where the cross is exactly the centre. Okay, so then go on to the vac pod. But vac pod's there with the disc, and it's already vacuumed down, it's centred up. All I have to do is touch off with the Z probe. Okay, so put that on there. As you can see, we've done that. Just move that up a bit more so you can see. You can see the Z probe. So move over to the software, and as you can see there, I've already zeroed the X and Y. We're ready to touch off, and we'll move over to the Z probe. Right. So we'll go back to the down here, go back onto that page, and then we go down to probe. Okay, so we press that, and there we go, it'll touch off. Okay, that's touched off. Oh, excuse me, I've got one hand here. Okay, so that's touched off, so we don't have to do anything else now except go to start your job, which is there. I've already zeroed the X and Y off, the Z's been done, the cutter's in, it's vacuumed down. what we do then, and it's a simple, it's a snowman. I'm using a 2mm ball nose with a depth of half a mil, 0.5 of a mil cut. I'll show you that over on the actual software on the machine. Right, here we are at the software. As you can see there, it's just a snowman. He's showing you arrows of the tool path and direction. The circle represents, that won't be cut. The circle represents, I gave myself 65mm, but the discs are actually 70mm, so it gives you a little bit to play with. It's only for demonstrations, this. That's the actual tool path it will be following. If you go to the 3D image, view all, preview all tool paths, reset preview, and preview all tool paths. There you go, and that's what it'll look like. It's only going, as I say, half a mil deep, and it's with a 2mm ball nose. That's the actual vectors. Okay, so I'll take you over to the machine now, ready to run the program. Right, here we are back at the machine. I've selected the file, which is the Snowman test G code. All I have to do then is go down to the, and then run the file. As you can see, spindle's on, case fan's on. You can hear the case fan, that's set up, and it's running at 7,500 RPM, which is enough for this cutter. It's only light engraving, so there's not much of a problem with the cutter, or the 500 watt motor doing the job. You can see the offline controller, the pendant. So we'll go over to here now and we'll run the G code. As you can see, yeah, the actual and there the vacuum is applied to the plywood and it's not moving, and it won't move. There'll be confidence in it. I'm not using the extractor because otherwise you wouldn't see what's happening, because it has a brush around it on the dust boot. So and I don't have to worry about that offline controller dropping out. It just does what it's supposed to do. think as I say, it's so clean, there's no clamps, that's fastened to the table, it ain't going to move. There we are, job finished. Turn the motor off and turn the vacuum, and if you watch it you'll see it release. There you go. And there you are with a light sand. Clean cut, nice engraving, 1/2 mil deep, and that's never moved. And I've seen people using clamps and things come undone. There's no clamps to worry about hitting. Yeah, but this is just to demonstrate that how a vac pod works and how I use them. Sometimes I'll put 4 of these down and fasten a board down. They're very accurate, so providing you, and I'm on an aluminium T-slot table, so that's accurate, and it's trued. I've trued the spindle up to the bed all over the machine, so it's pretty good. And there you go. There you go, to show it it's not float, a smaller one as well. Okay. Right, just want to show you something else there. Just to let you know how sometimes how good a vac pod is if you're using a good vacuum pump. That's a piece of MDF. It's just less than 3 mil thick. Okay, scrap piece. Right. I put that on there. Just put the vacuum on. Okay, press it down. That's held. You'd break that to take it off, okay? But watch what happens. That is stuck on there. I have a job on moving that, and I'm pushing on it. Okay, it's just nearly as strong as what the MDF is stuck to the base, and that's because MDF is porous. So if you were to put a big sheet down, use it as a vacuum table, make it out of MDF, you couldn't use it as a vacuum table because it's not, it's porous. It draws air in through it, so you have to seal it all. That's what I did with mine. Cut the vacuum table and then sealed all the MDF everywhere, about 3 coats of sanding sealer, and then it works as a vacuum table. But that's porous, I can't move that, so you could engrave on top of that. And what's more is I could cut through there if I needed to make an opening. I could cut through and it still wouldn't affect the vacuum. Okay, that's just something else that you can do with a vac pod. Right, we're back round. That concludes my video. Today it's just to show that how they work, vac pods, how good they are, but it is everybody's choice. And if you've, like myself, I'm a bit spoiled, if you've got 3D printers, and I won't purchase a vac pod, I'd construct my own. I've designed my own, then it's to 3D print them off, and you've just got another extra hold down other than metal clamps. And the clamps I have for them here, they'll stick up sometimes an inch above the job, and it's just clean looking when you're working with them. And if I were engraving, as I say on there, instead of putting a piece of wood down and using glue to stick it to the table, if I'm just engraving the face of it, because I don't have a spoil board on. I'll put one on if I need one. Then what I would do is just put 4 of the vac pods down, link them together, draw the piece of material down to the bed, engrave on it, release the vacuum. That's it. No clamps, just the vac pods. Right. I hope that's answered the gentleman's query that he said the other night. And once again, please, you know, like and subscribe and keep the comments coming, because I love them and I answer everybody's. And at the end of the day, it's how, as a community, YouTube community, it's how we learn. It's how I learn anyway. Is I watch what other people do. I've just got a new Bamboo Labs printer. Brilliant bit of kit. Speed wise, I can do things in a fraction of the time that my other printers would take to do it. And yeah, I mean, I've been printing stuff off on it and I'm still learning. And the way I learn, I go on YouTube. If I've got a problem, I want to know how to do something, I go on YouTube. So please keep your comments coming. If you want any help and I can help you, I will do. So that's conclusion to my video. So and as I always remind everybody at the end of my videos, be safe, be careful, bye for now.